to give ourselves the very best shots at achieving our full potential. Most of us do this by setting goals and working towards achieving goals. And there are always setbacks and failures along the way, and we have to dust ourselves off, recalibrate, and think about how do we move forward, how do we move towards achieving that goal. And you know, I stumbled upon a fantastic story in the last couple of months that really illustrates to me the very best way to achieve our goals. And this story, I've told it now 1,000 times already, and I want to share it with you because I find it so inspiring and so practical. And it involves my son, who is 8, and he plays rugby. And this year in the under 8s, they have to tackle. Last year in the under 7s, they just sort of touched each other and they had to hand the ball over. But this year they have to tackle. And so we went to the first game and the game began, and my son refused to tackle. He just could not bring himself to make that tackle. And I was going crazy on the touchline. Benny, you have to tackle, mate. You've got to tackle, tackle, tackle. After the game, for the next week, I coached him, I mentored him, I begged him, I bribed him. I said, if you want to stay in the team, you've got to tackle. And he said, Dad, you can rely on me. In the next game, I'm going to tackle. The next game came along, not one tackle. I couldn't believe it. He did a very good impersonation of tackling, but somehow just seemed to be a moment late or a moment too soon, and the player would run past him. Benny, I shouted, you've got to tackle. And I was beside myself. How could I persuade him to tackle? And then a local fitness coach gave us some advice. He said, why don't you just ask him to do 2 tackles in the next game? Just 2 tackles. And then he doesn't have to do any more. So I thought, oh, worthwhile giving it a try. And for the next game, we sat down with Benny and we said, Ben, all we want you to do in this game is 2 tackles. Do 2 good tackles, and when they're done, you don't need to do any more tackles. Well, the game began, and within 3 minutes, he had done 2 great tackles. And then no more tackles for the rest of the game. The next weekend, Ben, just 3 tackles, mate. Just 3 tackles and no more. And he did it. And this weekend coming up, we're a 5-tackle weekend. That will take him to halftime. And that's the story that I wanted to tell you today. To achieve your goals, always begin with the end in sight. Have very clear understanding of what you're trying to achieve. Ben wants to be a great tackler and remain in the team. And then to move towards your goals, set achievable, manageable, short-term goals. 1 step at a time. A 2-tackle game, a 3-tackle game, a 4-tackle game, and within time, wow, I'm a great tackler. Begin with the end in sight. Set yourself short-term, manageable, achievable goals. Achieve your goals 2 tackles at a time. Thank you.